Life is filled with unexpected turns and moments that challenge us in ways we never anticipated. At times, things don't go as planned and setbacks seem to arise from nowhere. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that these setbacks define us or determine the outcome of our lives. But the truth is, setbacks are not endings, they are opportunities to learn and grow. They don't represent the finish line, but rather a part of the journey, one that offers valuable lessons that can shape our future. When we experience a setback, it's natural to feel disheartened. It might feel like all of our efforts were in vain, or that the progress we've made has been undone. We may question ourselves, our abilities, and our choices. It's important to remember, however, that setbacks are an inevitable part of life. They don't indicate failure, but rather they point to areas where we can improve, adapt, and adjust our approach. Every challenge we face is a lesson in disguise, and how we choose to perceive and respond to these obstacles will determine the trajectory of our lives. The key to overcoming setbacks is recognizing that they are not final. Just because something doesn't work out as planned doesn't mean it's the end of the road. It's easy to get caught up in the disappointment of a setback, but it's important to remind ourselves that this is only a moment in time, not a permanent situation. Think about some of the greatest success stories. Many of these individuals faced significant setbacks along the way. What set them apart was not their ability to avoid failure, but their ability to persevere through it, learn from it, and move forward with renewed determination. Setbacks are not a reflection of our worth. They are simply a reflection of a particular circumstance, situation, or outcome. Often, when things don't go according to plan, we internalize the failure and believe it reflects something about our character or abilities. But in reality, everyone faces setbacks. The most successful people are not the ones who never stumble, but those who understand that setbacks are part of the process. Instead of letting failure define them, they use it as fuel to try again, to refine their approach, and to keep moving forward. Each setback presents an opportunity to reevaluate our approach and adjust our strategy. Sometimes we get so focused on a specific outcome or method that we don't realize there may be a better way to achieve our goals. A setback forces us to look at the situation from a different angle, to rethink our strategy, and to innovate. It's in these moments of reflection that we often find the best solutions, the most creative ideas, and the breakthroughs that were previously beyond our reach. Setbacks give us the chance to be more resourceful, more creative, and more adaptable. In this sense, they become catalysts for innovation and improvement. Setbacks also teach us the importance of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from difficulties, and to keep moving forward in the face of challenges. When we encounter setbacks, it's easy to feel defeated, but resilience is about refusing to stay down. It's about understanding that failure is not final, and that every setback is an opportunity to build strength and perseverance. The more setbacks we face and overcome, the stronger we become. Each time we rise after falling, we develop greater resilience, which helps us navigate future challenges with greater ease and confidence. Furthermore, setbacks are often opportunities to build character. It's easy to stay calm and focused when everything is going well, but it's in the face of adversity that our true character is tested. How we handle setbacks says a lot about who we are. Do we let frustration take over? Do we give up? Or do we keep fighting for what we want? The way we respond to setbacks can shape our character and influence the way others perceive us. A person who faces setbacks with grace, determination, and a positive attitude is someone who gains the respect of others and inspires those around them. Setbacks provide us with the chance to strengthen our character, develop emotional intelligence, and become better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life. It's important to understand that setbacks are a normal part of life's process. We often hear about the successes of others, but we rarely hear about the difficulties and challenges they face to get there. Most successful people have encountered obstacles, failures, and setbacks along their journey. The difference is in how they responded to those setbacks. They didn't allow them to stop their progress. Instead, they used them as stepping stones to reach their ultimate goals. Success isn't about avoiding setbacks, it's about learning how to turn those setbacks into opportunities for growth and progress. Moreover, setbacks help us build a deeper sense of appreciation for our achievements. When things go smoothly, it's easy to take success for granted. But when we face setbacks and then manage to overcome them, we gain a deeper understanding of the effort required to succeed. Every victory feels sweeter when we've had to fight for it, to push through challenges and persevere in the face of adversity. Setbacks, in this sense, are part of what makes success meaningful. They give us the perspective and appreciation we need to truly value our accomplishments. In the end, setbacks are not the end of the story. They are simply a chapter in the larger narrative of our lives. They are a reminder that life is a journey, and that setbacks, while difficult, are a natural part of the process. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, we can choose to view them as opportunities for growth, learning, and personal development. Every setback brings with it a lesson, and the more we learn from these lessons, the more equipped we become to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Life is not about avoiding setbacks, but about learning how to rise after each fall and continue moving forward with greater strength and wisdom. Resilience is one of the most vital qualities we can develop as we navigate through life. Life, as we know it, is filled with challenges, uncertainty, and setbacks. Whether it's dealing with personal struggles, professional setbacks, or external events beyond our control, we will all face adversity at some point. In these moments, resilience becomes the difference between staying down and rising again, between feeling overwhelmed and moving forward with determination. It's what allows us to adapt to change, recover from difficulties, and continue pursuing our goals, no matter how tough the journey may seem. At its core, resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's not about avoiding hardship or never facing challenges. It's about how we respond when things don't go as planned. Resilience allows us to adapt to life's curveballs without being defeated by them. Life's most difficult moments don't define us unless we let them. Resilience is a mindset, one that emphasizes growth, strength, and perseverance in the face of challenges. It's about understanding that setbacks are not permanent, and that we can always rise again, no matter how hard we fall. One of the most important aspects of resilience is the ability to keep going, even when things seem hopeless. Often, when we face difficulties, it's easy to feel as though the obstacles are insurmountable. The natural instinct is to give up, to retreat, or to stop trying altogether. But resilience teaches us that even when we feel defeated, there is always the possibility of a fresh start, a way forward. It's about taking small steps when large strides seem impossible, about holding on to hope even when everything around us seems bleak. With resilience, we can weather any storm, knowing that the clouds will eventually part and brighter days will come. Another key element of resilience is learning from failure. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and the way we handle it has a significant impact on our ability to bounce back. Instead of allowing failure to define us, resilience teaches us to view it as a learning opportunity. When we fail, it's not the end of the road, it's simply an opportunity to reassess, to adjust, and to improve. Every failure holds within it a lesson, a chance to grow and become stronger. Resilience allows us to take those lessons and use them to propel us forward, rather than letting them hold us back. In addition to learning from failure, resilience also requires a positive mindset. It's easy to become consumed by negative thoughts when things aren't going well. We may begin to doubt ourselves, question our decisions, or feel as though we're not capable of overcoming the challenges in front of us. But resilience involves the ability to focus on what's within our control, to stay optimistic, and to keep moving forward. It's about finding the silver lining even in the darkest situations, believing that no matter how tough things may seem, we have the strength to get through them. Resilience helps us reframe our challenges as opportunities, reminding us that every setback is just a step on the path to success. Another crucial aspect of resilience is the ability to seek support when needed. Resilience doesn't mean doing everything alone or never asking for help. In fact, some of the strongest individuals are those who know when to lean on others for support. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or professional help, seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's a reminder that we don't have to face everything alone, and that connecting with others can help us gain perspective, find new solutions, and recover faster. Resilience allows us to acknowledge that asking for help is not a sign of failure, but an important part of the recovery and growth process. Resilience is also about maintaining a sense of purpose and direction. When things get tough, it's easy to lose sight of our goals. The challenges we face can sometimes make us question why we're even trying, or whether it's worth continuing the journey. But resilience keeps us anchored to our purpose. It reminds us why we started in the first place, and it helps us see beyond the temporary struggles to the bigger picture. When we are resilient, We hold on to our vision, knowing that it's worth the effort, even when the path seems long and difficult. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is the ability to adapt to change. Life is unpredictable, and change is constant. Whether it's a job loss, a relationship challenge, or a health issue, change can be uncomfortable and unsettling. But resilience teaches us that change doesn't have to be something to fear. Instead, it can be an opportunity for growth. Resilience allows us to adapt to new situations, to see change not as a threat, but as a chance to evolve and learn. Those who are resilient are able to embrace change, trusting that they have the skills and strength to navigate whatever comes their way. Finally, resilience is about self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when things don't go as planned or when we make mistakes. But resilience involves being kind to ourselves during difficult times, understanding that we are doing our best and that setbacks are part of being human. Self-compassion allows us to recover from adversity without being overly critical or harsh. It helps us keep our mental and emotional health intact, allowing us to keep going even when the road is tough. Resilience is not something that we are born with, but rather something we can develop and strengthen over time. It's a skill, one that requires patience, practice, and a commitment to personal growth. As we face challenges and setbacks, we have the opportunity to build our resilience, becoming stronger and more capable with each obstacle we overcome. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about how we respond to it, how we rise after we fall, and how we keep moving forward with hope and determination, no matter what life throws our way. Through resilience, we learn that we are capable of overcoming even the most difficult challenges, and that no matter how many times we stumble, we can always rise again. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and unexpected turns. We've all experienced moments where things don't go as planned, where things feel difficult, or where it seems like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. It's in those moments that it's easy to feel stuck, to feel like there's no way out, or like we're trapped in a never-ending cycle. But the truth is, staying stuck doesn't change our circumstances. It doesn't fix the problem, it doesn't move us forward, and it doesn't create the change we need. In fact, staying stuck only keeps us from moving toward the future we desire. When we face setbacks or difficult situations, it's natural to want to stop, to pause, or even to retreat. We may find ourselves dwelling on the past, wondering what went wrong, or thinking about how things could have been different. But that mindset, that constant rumination on the past, only keeps us stuck. We can't change what's already happened, no matter how much we wish we could. The past is fixed. What we can control is what we do next. Our circumstances may not be ideal, but we have the power to determine how we move forward from here. When we choose to stay stuck in our circumstances, we give away our power. We let external factors dictate our future. But the moment we decide to take action, no matter how small, we take back control. The decision to keep going, to keep trying, is the first step toward creating change. Even if we can't change everything about our situation, we can change our response to it. The way we approach our challenges, the mindset we choose to adopt, and the actions we take will determine the direction we move in. Often we think that if we just wait long enough, the situation will somehow improve on its own. But life doesn't work that way. Waiting for circumstances to change without doing anything to change them is a recipe for stagnation. We may think that things will eventually get better if we just hold out, but the truth is, things don't change unless we make a conscious decision to act. Time doesn't fix problems, effort does. It's easy to hope for a miracle, but the real magic happens when we take matters into our own hands. It's also easy to fall into the trap of believing that we don't have the ability to change our circumstances. We may think that we're too far gone or that the situation is too difficult to overcome. But that's just fear talking. Fear often keeps us stuck, telling us that we're not capable, that we don't have the strength, or that we don't deserve better. But the truth is, we are far more capable than we give ourselves credit for. Each of us has the ability to rise above our circumstances, to find solutions, and to make changes in our lives. But it starts with the decision to stop staying stuck. When we let ourselves get stuck in a negative cycle of thinking and reacting, we limit our potential. We may be so focused on the problem that we fail to see the possibilities. We may be so consumed by fear that we fail to take action. Staying stuck in a difficult situation prevents us from moving toward the opportunities that are waiting for us. Every time we resist change or avoid taking action, we shut the door to new possibilities. Life is constantly evolving, and so must we. The truth is, staying stuck may feel safe in the short term, but in the long run, it keeps us from growing. Growth happens when we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, when we challenge ourselves to take risks, and when we face our fears. Growth happens when we refuse to stay in situations that no longer serve us. It's uncomfortable to step out of what's familiar, but it's through that discomfort that we become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When we make the choice to stop staying stuck, we open ourselves up to new experiences. We begin to see things from a new perspective, and we start to notice opportunities that were once hidden. We become more resourceful, more determined, and more confident in our ability to overcome challenges. We realize that no matter what happens, we have the power to create change in our lives. It's not always easy, and it's not always immediate, but every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to where we want to be. Life is constantly moving forward, and if we choose to stay stuck, we risk being left behind. But the moment we decide to take action, to move forward, we begin to catch up. We may not always know exactly where we're going, but the important thing is that we're moving. Movement, even small movement, creates momentum, and momentum is what ultimately leads to change. So, when life gets tough, when you feel stuck, remember that staying in that place will not change your circumstances. The only way to make progress is to take that first step forward. It doesn't matter how slow or uncertain the journey may be. What matters is that you keep moving, even when it feels hard, even when you don't have all the answers. Because staying stuck doesn't change anything, but choosing to move forward will transform your future. Life is a journey that often requires us to take action, but it's easy to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenges we face. Whether it's personal, professional, or emotional, it's tempting to think that unless we make a huge leap forward, nothing will ever change. We envision the big picture success, achievement, personal growth, and think that we need to make dramatic moves to get there. But the truth is, small steps, taken consistently, can lead to the biggest changes in our lives. The idea of needing to make drastic, sweeping changes often keeps us stuck in a state of inaction. We wait for the perfect moment when we can finally take that big step, believing that anything less won't have an impact. However, life rarely works that way. Change doesn't happen overnight, and progress isn't always marked by monumental shifts. The reality is that every great achievement, every significant transformation, began with a single small step. The key is to start, no matter how small that first step may seem. In the face of large goals, it can feel discouraging to think that small actions will ever lead to meaningful progress. But this is where we often underestimate the power of consistency. Small steps are the building blocks of greater accomplishments. It's easy to overlook the impact of daily efforts, but over time, these seemingly insignificant actions add up. Whether it's improving your health one workout at a time, advancing your career by learning a little more each day, or improving your relationships through small acts of kindness, every effort compounds. It may not seem like much in the moment, but it's this consistent forward motion that makes all the difference. One of the biggest barriers to taking small steps is the fear of not making enough progress. We tend to look at the finish line and think that if we aren't moving quickly toward it, we're failing. But progress isn't linear. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing our own pace to someone else's. We may see others achieving their goals faster, making bigger moves, and think that we're doing something wrong. But the truth is, everyone's journey is unique. Your pace doesn't have to match anyone else's. What matters is that you're taking steps, even small ones, and that you're moving in the right direction. Taking small steps also allows us to build momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces for change. The more we move forward, the easier it becomes to take the next step, and the next. Each small success, whether it's learning a new skill, reaching a small milestone, or overcoming a minor obstacle, reinforces the belief that we can achieve more. With each small action, we build confidence, which propels us to continue. It's often the little wins that create the motivation to keep going. Small steps can also help us avoid burnout. Big changes often require a lot of energy and can lead to feelings of exhaustion or frustration if they don't happen quickly enough. When we focus on small, manageable steps, we can make steady progress without overwhelming ourselves. This gradual approach helps us stay consistent over time, which is far more effective than trying to do everything at once and giving up when it feels too difficult. Small steps are sustainable. They allow us to pace ourselves and make progress at a rate that feels comfortable, keeping us from burning out. There's also something powerful about the cumulative effect of small steps. It's easy to discount the impact of tiny, seemingly insignificant actions, but over time, they add up in ways we often don't expect. Think about a small deposit made into a savings account every day. At first, it seems like very little, but over time, the interest compounds, and those small deposits become something much greater. The same is true for any area of our lives. Whether we're working on a personal project, building a new skill, or improving our health, it's the consistent, small efforts that ultimately lead to significant growth. Even if we don't see the immediate results of our actions, we have to trust that these small efforts are creating the foundation for something bigger. The power of small steps also lies in their ability to create lasting change. Big changes, while exciting, are often short-lived because they can be too overwhelming to maintain. They can require so much energy and focus that we eventually burn out or lose our sense of motivation. Small steps, on the other hand, are more sustainable and easier to integrate into our daily lives. They allow us to make gradual, consistent changes that we can stick with in the long run. Real change is built on habits, and habits are formed one small action at a time. Another benefit of small steps is that they help us to manage our expectations. When we approach our goals with the belief that big results must happen right away, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Small steps, however, help us to be more patient and realistic. We begin to understand that success is a journey, not an immediate destination. We begin to recognize that growth takes time, and that the process is just as valuable as the outcome. Small steps teach us to be patient with ourselves and to trust the process. Ultimately, small steps lead to big changes because they create momentum, build habits, and allow us to make steady, sustainable progress. Whether we are working toward personal growth, professional goals, or a better lifestyle, it's the small actions, taken consistently over time, that create lasting transformations. It's easy to become overwhelmed when we look at the big picture and think about how far we have to go. But when we break down our goals into small, manageable steps, we take the pressure off ourselves and make the journey more achievable. Every small step you take is a step closer to your dreams, and those small steps will lead to the bigger changes you seek. Life is a force that never stops. It doesn't pause for us to catch our breath, to fix our mistakes, or to sort things out. Whether we are ready or not, time keeps moving forward. The world keeps changing, and no matter what happens, the clock continues to tick. It can feel overwhelming, but that's the way life is. It doesn't wait for us to catch up. It doesn't stop because we're struggling, grieving, we're facing hardship. The truth is, life will move forward with or without us. But here's the thing, this is not something to fear. In fact, it's something we must learn to embrace. Every day brings with it a fresh opportunity. While life doesn't wait for us to get it together, it's also constantly giving us new chances to start again, to learn, and to grow. We may not be able to change the past, but we are always in control of how we move forward. We may not be able to undo mistakes or correct things that went wrong, but we can decide how we'll react, how we'll adapt, and how we'll approach the next step. The challenges of yesterday do not define our tomorrow. But here's the reality: if we just sit and wait for life to stop, we'll find ourselves left behind. Nothing changes unless we take action. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of frustration, wishing things were different, or feeling like life is unfair. But waiting for life to slow down or for the right moment to come along will only hold us back. The key to moving forward is to take responsibility, even when the world doesn't feel like it's on our side. We have to keep pushing, even when it feels like we're not making progress. Sometimes when we're facing difficulties, it can feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. We feel like we're swimming against a current that is much stronger than us. In those moments, we can feel powerless, like we have no control over what's happening. But the truth is, no matter how hard life gets, no matter how strong the current seems, we always have a choice. We can choose to let the current carry us, or we can choose to fight. We can choose to learn how to swim. And that's where growth happens. It's important to remember that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply a part of the journey. When things go wrong, when we fail, when we make mistakes, it doesn't mean we're finished. It doesn't mean we can't recover. Life doesn't stop, but neither should we. We must see setbacks for what they truly are: temporary roadblocks on the path to something greater. Each failure carries with it a lesson that can help us become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. We are often harder on ourselves than we should be. When things go wrong, it's easy to think we're not enough, or that we'll never overcome the difficulties in front of us. But that's simply not true. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced their own share of challenges. Every person who has risen to the top has stumbled along the way. What matters is not the fall, but the decision to get back up, to keep going, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against us. Every time we get up, we become more capable of handling whatever comes our way. The most important thing we can do in life is to keep moving forward. It's easy to get discouraged, to feel like we're falling behind, or to wonder if it's worth it. But the truth is, life will not stop. The world will keep turning. If we want to keep up, we must keep moving, no matter how slow the pace. Every step we take is a step towards something greater. We don't need to move quickly, but we do need to keep going. Even when the journey is difficult, even when we feel like quitting, we must remember that the only way to truly fail is to stop trying. Resilience is key. Life is full of ups and downs, but it's not the circumstances that define us, it's how we respond to them. When life gets tough, we have the power to choose how we react. Will we let it break us, or will we rise to the challenge? The ability to keep going when everything feels against you is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's in our nature to want things to be easier, to wish for a moment of peace, or for the weight to be lifted. But we must understand that life's pace doesn't change for us. It doesn't stop to accommodate our struggles. And that's okay, because while life may not stop for us, we have the power to keep moving. No matter what challenges we face, no matter how difficult it may seem, we must remember that life's forward momentum is an invitation for us to keep up. The world moves, and so can we. The only thing that can truly hold us back is ourselves. So get up, keep going, and remember that as long as you move forward, you are winning. Life moves at a relentless pace, with or without our consent. It doesn't stop for us to catch our breath, fix our mistakes, or make sense of the challenges we're facing. Time doesn't wait for us to feel ready or prepared. Each day, the clock keeps ticking, and the world around us keeps changing. The obstacles we encounter, the difficulties we face, and even our dreams don't pause simply because we need time to process them. In the face of this, it's easy to feel as though we're being swept along, helpless against the current. However, the key to understanding life's relentless pace is realizing that, although life doesn't stop, neither must we. The reality of life is that it doesn't wait for us. When we're struggling, feeling lost, or uncertain, life continues its march forward. It's easy to think that we're falling behind or that we're not moving fast enough. However, the truth is that life will not slow down to accommodate our pace. Instead, we must adapt. We must keep moving, even when we feel we have nothing left to give. And while that may seem exhausting, it is in this forward motion that we find our strength. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory. Even when the world around us seems chaotic, or when the road ahead looks uncertain, we must keep moving forward. Every challenge we face, no matter how insurmountable it may seem, is a part of the process. The struggle, the setbacks, and the hardships are not signs that we're failing, they're evidence that we're moving through life. Every difficulty carries with it the potential for growth. It is often in our lowest moments that we find the strength to rise higher than we thought possible. In moments of uncertainty, it's easy to feel like we're standing still. We look around, see others moving forward, and wonder why we're not where we want to be. It's important to remember that progress is not always linear. Life is not a race, and we are not in competition with anyone but ourselves. While it's natural to compare our journey to those of others, we must resist the urge to measure our worth by someone else's timeline. The only measure of progress that matters is our own. When we encounter setbacks, it's crucial to keep our perspective. Failure is not a sign that we've reached the end of the road. Instead, it's a part of the process, a moment of learning. Every setback teaches us something valuable. Perhaps it teaches us resilience, or patience, or the importance of perseverance. Each failure provides us with a chance to reassess, adjust, and come back stronger. It is not the failure itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. The key is to refuse to let setbacks define our journey. Instead, we use them to fuel our growth. At times, we may feel overwhelmed, as though the weight of the world is on our shoulders. We may question whether we have the strength to continue or whether we should just stop trying. It's in these moments that we must remember that life is not waiting for us to be ready. Life moves forward regardless of our doubts, our fears, or our struggles. The question is not whether we're ready, but whether we're willing to keep going. No matter how small the step, moving forward is the only way to ensure we don't get left behind. Life may not stop for us, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. In fact, it's the opposite. The fact that life keeps moving offers us an incredible opportunity, the opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to learn. We have the power to choose how we respond to life's challenges. We may not be able to control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react. And by choosing to move forward, no matter the obstacles, we take back control of our lives. We can't let the idea that life doesn't slow down paralyze us. Instead, we must use it as motivation to keep moving. Every day presents a new chance to start again, to take a new step, to make a new choice. Even when it feels like we're stuck in the same place, the very fact that we're still moving forward means we're progressing. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't seem to be going our way. It's natural to feel like we're not making enough progress or that we're somehow failing. But the truth is, as long as we keep moving, we are making progress. Life may not stop for us, but by continuing to move, we keep up with it. And in doing so, we ensure that we're not left behind. There will always be moments when we feel like giving up, when the weight of life's challenges feels too heavy to bear. But it's in those moments that we must dig deep and remind ourselves of our strength. Life will not stop for us to catch our breath, but that doesn't mean we can't keep going. Every time we face a challenge, we grow stronger. Every time we move forward, no matter how small the step, we build the resilience necessary to face the next obstacle. Life will keep moving, and so must we. It's not about how fast we go, but about whether we keep moving at all. The key is to keep moving, even when the path is unclear. Keep moving when you stumble, when you fall, and when you feel like giving up. Because in the end, it's not life's pace that determines our success. It's our willingness to keep moving forward, one step at a time.